Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we break down SEC filings so you don't have to. And today we have ProKidney Corp filing an 8K report. Just imagine a company saying, hey, we are going to start selling a whole bunch more of our stock. And by the way, that old plan we had to do that, well, that's out the door. We have a new plan. Now sounds like a big deal, right? Well, on July 14, 2025, ProKidney Corp announced a pretty significant move. They entered into a new agreement to sell up to $200 million worth of their Class A common stock. This is called an open market sale agreement, and essentially it means they can sell their shares directly into the market as needed. This new agreement is with Jefferies LLC, who will act as the sales agent. They can sell these shares through various methods like regular broker transactions or even in privately negotiated deals. The key here is they can do this on the Nasdaq capital market or wherever their stock is traded. Now, what does this mean for ProKidney? They are basically setting up a way to raise a lot of cash if they need it. Imagine having a flexible credit line, but instead of borrowing money, you are selling pieces of your company. This gives them flexibility to fund operations or growth without having to take on debt or go through a whole new stock offering process. It's like opening a tab at the company store, but the currency is your own stock. Jefferies LLC will get a commission for selling these shares, which is up to 3% of whatever they sell. That's pretty standard in these kinds of deals. They will also get reimbursed for some expenses. ProKidney also said this agreement doesn't force them to sell any shares. They can stop offering them at any time. This filing also tells us that these stock sales will happen under an existing registration statement, which was initially filed back in November. They mentioned a post-effective amendment was filed recently, meaning they've updated the paperwork to allow for these new sales. It's like getting a permit for a new construction project. It's all about making sure everything is legal and transparent. Now, here's an interesting detail in conjunction with this new agreement. ProKidney also terminated an older similar agreement that was put in place in January 2024. This means they are replacing their old at the market stock selling program with this new one. This is a pretty common practice. Companies often update their financing agreements as their needs and market conditions change. The new agreement is for a much larger amount, $200 million compared to what might have been in the previous one. This signals a potentially larger need for capital or a more aggressive growth strategy. They also mentioned they filed an ATM prospectus supplement. This is essentially a document that supplements their main registration statement to specifically detail this new at the market program. It tells investors how much stock can be sold and under what terms. So what's the big picture here? ProKidney Corp is positioning itself to raise a significant amount of capital. This could be for anything from funding clinical trials, expanding operations, or even preparing for future acquisitions. The $200 million figure suggests they have ambitious plans and are securing the financial runway to achieve them. Now let's talk about what this really means from Warren Buffett kind of perspective. You want to know if the company is making smart decisions with its money and its future. This move to sell up to $200 million in stock is a clear signal that ProKidney is focused on growth, but selling stock can dilute the ownership of existing shareholders. This means if you own shares, each share becomes a smaller percentage of the company as more shares are issued. The key will be how they use this money, if they invest it wisely and generate significant returns that increase the company's overall value. Then the dilution might be worth it. The inclusion of an opinion from Mintz Levin, Cohn, Ferris Glovsky, and Popo PC is a legal formality, but it essentially means a law firm has reviewed the stock issuance to ensure it's legally sound. This adds a layer of confidence in the process. Overall, ProKidney Corp is taking proactive steps to ensure it has the financial resources to execute its strategy. This 8K filing is less about current financial performance and more about future funding and operational flexibility. It tells us the management is looking ahead and preparing for growth opportunities or potential challenges. However, it's important to remember that this is a plan to sell stock, not actual sales yet. The actual impact on the company will depend on how many shares they actually sell, the price at which they sell them, and most importantly, how effectively they deploy the capital raised. This is a strategic move that puts them in a stronger financial position to pursue their goals in terms of general company health and direction without seeing the specific financial tables from a more detailed report like a 10Q or 10K. This filing focuses on a financing event. The strength of ProKidney will ultimately hinge on the success of its core business, which is likely in the biotechnology or healthcare sector. Their ability to innovate and bring products to market will be key to justifying these capital raises. We're looking at a company that's actively managing its capital structure and preparing for what it anticipates will be a period of significant activity and possibly investment. The termination of the old agreement and the creation of a larger new one indicate a refined approach to capital generation. So to sum it up, ProKidney Corp is gearing up to potentially raise a substantial amount of money by selling its stock. This gives them flexibility, but also comes with the standard risk of shareholder dilution. The success of this strategy will depend on smart execution and delivering on their business objectives. Keep an eye on how many shares they actually sell and what they do with the money raised. Alright, that's our breakdown of ProKidney Corp's latest filing. What's your take on these financing plans and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.